Welcome to the Vintage Burn Podcast. This is Kev.
Marco.
And stepping in for Doug tonight, who couldn't be with us, is Lolo.
Hi. I promise I won't go to sleep.
So we're going to be doing a Opinionated Pit segment and talk about a couple things. First off, we're going to discuss Season 4, or half of Season 4, right, of Stranger Things. And then go around and just discuss your favorite seasons in order. Maybe kick it into DeathFest. Marco went with Doug and a bunch of their friends that they do every year?
I haven't been to 2016, but before that it was every year. Yeah, but we took some years off, plus the pandemic.
Yep.
Pandemic killed a couple of years.
Yep. So we'll have him go over bands, favorite bands, all that good stuff. For those of you who wanted to maybe get some metal out of this, and we're doing a mix. We might talk about a couple other things in there. So hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for joining all over the world, and let's kick it into Season 4 of Stranger Things. The first 7 episodes halfway here. Marco, as usual.
Yeah, honestly, kind of doing this on the cuff, so I didn't take notes, but I actually thought it was spectacular, like the whole way through. I thought it was really well done. The story was told really well. I have a few nitpicks we'll get into a little bit later, but very minor nitpicks. But for a show, honestly, I remember Kevin actually bringing up Stranger Things like a few months ago, and I don't know if Kevin even remembers this conversation. I was just like, yeah, I don't give a shit, because it's been gone so long. I mean, they haven't released anything in like 2-3 years or whatever.
Yeah, the pandemic definitely killed the order of what they were supposed to do. I mean, the kids were not supposed to be as old as they are.
Yeah, I mean, and that
what do you do with that?
Okay, so that's one of my nitpicks too. I mean, this is not a spoiler-free review, but when they said it's been 185 days, but these kids look like they're like 4.5 years old.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So they said it's been 185 days since the events, or whatever. They say it right in the first episode, and it's like, really?
Yeah, like there's no
I
way,
don't know,
dude.
though. Some of them didn't age. Like, I don't think, like, Nancy didn't really look different.
No, but Nancy, I think, was already probably 18, 19, so she's probably not the same look.
Steve
but, like, the kids,
different.
like the 12-year-olds.
Yeah, and the 12-year-olds, yeah.
Steve, I don't think looked... I think, well, Jonathan looked different.
Yeah, he was more haggard than he already looked.
Yeah.
He had larger sacs around his eyes than he already had. But I get your point, and it's valid.
Yeah.
They did grow too much, and we have to... That's what blows, because it kind of... I mean, that show is so, in my opinion, like, perfect that of course something like this had to happen and throw off like the perfection that they had going.
Yeah, I just think
it's minor.
Yeah, it's very minor, but I think they definitely could have set up the story where it took place a few years later as opposed to 185.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, it's not a big thing if you just change that one little detail.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess maybe
It was forgettable to me, so I would have just nixed it.
Yeah, no, it's just because they said it and I caught it.
Yeah,
you know
you did. Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, and anyway, but no, it was enjoyable. You know, I really liked it. Like, what I was getting back to was like I remember Kevin asked me about it. Like, hey, you know, Stranger Things. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's been forever.
Yeah.
And then when Kevin texted me while I was at DeathFest, and he texted me,
oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm like, now I can't wait to watch it. And as soon as I got home, what did I do?
I watched
like the first 3 episodes one day, then I finished it out the next day.
Yeah.
Then I took a couple days off because recovery and all, but. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I actually, man, I didn't think a show can come back as strong as it did. And I really feel like it was super strong. Super strong.
I think Vecna was so awesome.
Right.
Like, just like the complete awesome villain.
You mean like the way his appearance too, like all of it, or just
the concept of it.
Concept,
like, I mean,
appearance.
It's so hard for them to do anything kind of new and different. But I mean, the whole MO of how he operated with the crazy ass, like, you know, sucking the life out of people, and they go up and they rise. I mean, that was
twisting of the bones and everything.
Twisted and very graphic and gory. I mean, it's a
step up in the right direction.
The gore department, the horror department, they did a good job of like tapping into all of it.
That's what I love. I didn't expect them to. I always felt it was a very safe PG-13
right.
Steven Spielberg
family friendly.
Like, this is the point. It was just enough to be borderline, like the Demigorgons and the is it the Mind Flare? They call it Mind Flare.
Mind Flare, yeah.
Like those are okay. Not something I particularly find super frightening.
They were cool though.
They're cool. They're definitely cool. Like, and I like the use of the Demigorgon again in this season 2 and how even more vicious it is. And I'm like, okay, now this is
and you got
the more
the creepy devil bats.
like when he rips a head off and
cool.
stuff, or like you can hear him crunching the bones of your skull. Now I'm like, okay, this is definitely scarier than season 1's portrayal of the Demigorgon.
Yeah.
The villains have improved. Like I think that's where they were going, and they wanted to step away from that PG version and go into the realm of rated R.
Yeah, I would say it went from like PG-13 to rated R.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
like they even had the warning
more.
at the beginning of the first episode saying due to like the Uvalde, Texas shooting.
Yeah, it's just bad timing.
Cool.
Yeah, and they put
the
it
timing,
on there.
The timing couldn't.
But
have
I
been
want to
worse
say,
than the intro.
this though. Obi-Wan Kenobi, same shit, dude. It's so funny. There's kids getting shot at and that in the I go, it's just bad timing. All the shows are doing it had nothing to do with it, but
Well,
Disney,
put it out there. Your choice of words. You don't find it funny, but the timing was bad.
Right.
The timing was bad.
Right.
It was just interesting that Netflix quickly jumped on that and put that up because Disney didn't. And I'm surprised because there's a couple scenes in Obi-Wan where I'm like, yeah, this could literally trigger somebody from this whole thing.
Yeah, I gotta see.
But
it
it is
still.
what it is.
Yeah.
I will say though that was like I don't know. It's unfortunate. What I am seeing in the media, I don't really like, is we are now desensitized to them killing children on TV, and
that's true.
They weren't doing it as much before. They weren't, and now it's just like everywhere. I feel like they weren't. Maybe that's just me. I feel like I didn't see as much as what I'm seeing now.
We're also looking for it. When you're looking for it, you see it.
I don't know. But
Yeah,
I didn't want to go down this path, but it was. I did notice that. I'm like,
all I know is in the realm of Stranger Things, in the Rainbow Room is what they call it. It's this. If you haven't seen it yet, or you're not into Stranger Things, just to give you a visual, it's this awesome looking 80s, very clean 80s sterile room, but it has this beautiful like rainbow that's all the way around on the wood paneling around the facility in this room, and there's all sorts of games for the kids to play that they're using with their superpowers, and it's just like an awesome insane asylum room from the 80s, using the colors, those straight stripes of rainbow color, like yeah, total 80s.
But I'm just glad that the writers, like, I think with the pandemic, it actually enabled them to take the time to really write a solid story.
Yeah.
And it sucks they split it into 2 parts. About the Stephen King thing. I think you brought it up to me earlier. Where he was commenting, like, that's his one big beef with it. Yeah, but...
Well, I guess what's strange is that they're doing it... Marco said they're doing it in 2 movies.
Yeah, it's only supposed to be 2 more episodes. But, like, 2 full-length movies.
But they're going to be 2 full-length movies. Mm-hmm. So it went from 7 episodes to just, like, 2 full... That's kind of weird. It's too choppy. But
that's just what I heard.
Too
I don't
choppy.
know if that's true.
Strange.
I don't know if it's true.
I was expecting
but
half and half, like...
Aren't they done filming?
No. Oh. That's so when Stephen King put that out there, the Duffer Brothers actually commented saying, well, we're still finishing up 8 and 9. So I don't know if it's speculation that it's just going to be 8 and 9. But I read today it's only supposed to be 2 parts. I read an actual article, some Hollywood Reporter, I believe it was, or whatever it was, yeah. Something like that, anyway.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, but, like, the best part about this season to me was Eddie, which was, like, the heavy metal kid.
Yep.
Which obviously were metalheads, but just in general, I thought he was, like, the funniest kid on the whole thing.
I like the portrayal, though, it's like... Exterior tough guy, but like super sensitive and geeky and smart.
That guy's great. Yeah, what is he? Like a cross between Keanu and
Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
Oh yeah. This guy found his role. We've seen him in other shit. Wouldn't even pay attention to him.
No,
this is his role. This was it. And I mean, he's probably gonna. This could probably launch him, into other things too. So
yeah, and it's funny. Like I was reading something about the preparation. He was listening to like '80s classic metal records and watching '80s movies. And
it's awesome.
Up to it. I guess they all kind of do that though.
Yeah.
But he does play the metalhead, so it's just funny as hell. But he was fucking oh man, He made me laugh so many times in the season.
Yeah,
and it sucks. I wish I could think of something in particular to talk about, but I just can't.
Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I love that he has that. What is it? Hellfire Club, right? So they have their little D&D Hellfire Club, whatever. I don't even know if Hellfire Club is that a game or is that just the name of their club?
Well,
it must be just the name of the club.
D&D Dungeons.
So they're still playing Dungeons and Dragons, but the name of the club is the Hellfire Club, right? That's
right.
I just want to make sure I understand that.
But the thing is, there is a Hellfire Club in comic book world. I'm just trying to remember. I think when I was a kid, I collected it, but I think it was newer than Stranger Things. So I don't know if they took inspiration. From the comic book, and I wish I could remember who's in the Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
Well, the comic book side, but
I do love. There's a scene where a couple of the Hellfire kids, they're obviously into metal, so they're jamming in a garage, and there's a couple shirts and definite. I think this takes place in 1984.
86.
86.
Yeah.
So then the music to 1986. You've got they had somebody's wearing the Born Again shirt from Black Sabbath, which I love. I don't, Marco, you're not a fan of that record, right?
No, I just don't like the sound.
Doug loves it too, and Born Again. I think Doug's the one who introduced me to Born Again.
Yeah.
But kids wearing a Born Again shirt. I think there's a Motorhead shirt, and an Iron Maiden shirt. I'm almost positive it's a Maiden shirt. Yeah.
So the actual Hellfire Club in the comics was created in 1980. Which features, I'll just name some of the big ones: Magneto, Storm, Phoenix, which is I believe Jean Grey, Azazel. Yeah. Anyway, Emma Frost. So a few of them that were in the movies. A lot of people I've never heard of, to be honest. Okay. But I just remember those comics. So I wonder, like I said, if they took motivation from that, which I think would be pretty cool. There's a little connection.
I think to wrap up season 4 so far, definitely more horror. A lot of imagery played on Nightmare on Elm Street. The most out of any horror movie they could take from. It's definitely Nightmare. Color schemes, little tidbits like I was saying to Marco earlier. You'll find out that there's a key villain in this. His name was supposedly Victor. They're trying to do some research on where the first killings happened in their town because they're happening again. It's one of those scenarios where the killer from the past is back, So this guy Victor is supposedly the killer. He did the same type of body twisting, life draining, telepathic thing. And so they're trying to find out if they can visit him in prison and see if there's any correlation to his murders from 50 years ago or so forth. And hey, surprise, it's Robert Englund playing Victor.
I love that part, yeah.
And he did a killer job. It was a good performance.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
And then there's the key under Upside Down World villain that it's not a Demogorgon or a Mind Flayer. It's a it appears to be a humanoid, some type of humanoid, and he's definitely creepy as fuck. They did a really good job with the makeup. He's got a skeleton face. His body is deteriorating, and he has all these I don't know, cords, connectors.
There's some sort of life force he gets through.
Life force.
It almost gives him
tentacles.
Analogy,
They're tentacles.
Swamp.
Oh, he definitely looks like Swamp
Thing. Oh, he looks like the Swamp Thing.
Swamp
Yeah,
Thing.
absolutely.
I think he looks almost more like a wet, I don't know, not really deteriorating, but just.
Yeah, see, I think he definitely...
Alien-like, too. It's a little bit of combination of that.
But, his, whole, presentation as far as speaking reminds me of, Pinhead from Hellraiser, right?
Yeah, it's a good
just his demeanor, right? But, his look reminds me of Swamp Thing.
I get the demeanor.
Yeah.
Now I get that reference, yeah. Just the slowness.
Just the way he speaks.
Yeah.
Everything about it, yeah.
Very slow. Almost positive that Vecna is also Robert Englund. We could all just.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure it is. Somebody else told me that too.
Yeah,
so
it makes sense.
Now that you said it, it kind of confirms.
There's another Nightmare play on it because he, obviously Nancy goes into the. We're not going to tell you everything because we just don't remember everything. So you're going to get little tidbits.
Watch it one time over.
But Nancy goes into the Upside Down at some point in this series, and you know, you can hear Robert Englund in somewhat of a Freddie voice saying, it's good to see you again, you know? So I'm like, I loved it. And then, what else? There's something else that you said that was in the background, if you pay attention to Michael,
yeah, I just read it. I didn't catch it watching it live, but yeah, I guess there's a grave.
The grave.
When they're in the cemetery. When Max is in the cemetery, when she raises up there, I guess there's a Myers grave if you look closely.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they pay a lot of homage to like old school horror movies in general. I mean, you could see it. You get like almost like a Spielberg feel.
Yeah,
definitely
like Spielberg horror, man. This is Spielberg horror.
Yeah.
For anybody who just loves 80s horror like we do, and it's not even, this isn't the cheese horror of the 80s. It's just a decent horror. You could watch this and think it's an 80s horror movie. Yeah. It's just good. It's good.
Yeah, and I think it's Max, if I remember correctly, even has that just like little Carrie scene.
The acting's better than the acting's so much better than some of the 80s horror movies anyway.
But it's more new age. Like they do it newer. Like they add newer things to it that make it interesting.
You're gonna love Dustin this season. He's just he's
awesome.
like just stepping out front, and I love. He's still goofy, and that's the best part. But he's awesome. You know, it's super intelligent and making all these strategic decisions, but still has that laugh. Like that's what you can still laugh like when he says stuff or how he gets nervous or.
I like when he's taking the lead too.
He's taking the lead.
More this season.
I mean, he's the one that's always been super into everything. I mean, was it season 2 where he found that little caterpillar looking thing that kept growing? Mm-hmm. Turned into a Demogorgon.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just always kind of like in the center of things, and I think he should be. I think he's like the best kid out of all of them, in my opinion.
He's pretty awesome.
He's my favorite, I think.
So yeah, I think we all agree we like season 4.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It
was my favorite out of any of them.
Yeah, so
it was my top one.
Why don't you rank? We'll go with you then. Out of all of the seasons, you put 4 at your top.
Okay, so I say 4, 1, 3, 2.
2's last for you. That's
2's last for me as well. Actually.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yep.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I would just do the same as her. So I would probably go like 1, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, one's.
Yeah, I just like 1 because maybe because this show just started out so fucking strong. I just remember really, being into it, and maybe if I rewatched it now, compared to season 4, I may change my mind.
I started
because right now in my head, it's just like I just remember loving that. Like I haven't rewatched it. So.
I think I liked the story in this one more, and I liked the fact that there was different sub things happening. Mm-hmm. And they did a good job of drawing us in different parts. I think I liked the whole play with like Hopper, being away and like trying to go get him and like the Russian elements of it. That, I mean, it was strong, but I think they could have done a little bit of a better job. I don't know. Maybe I feel like it was missing something, and I don't know why.
Really? Are you you're just talking about the
like the jail scene and like he creates that
in season 4?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I liked it, but I'm kind of like in retrospect thinking on it. I'm like, was it really necessary? Was it needed to the level that they gave us?
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Maybe they felt like if they spent too much time, then we'd be spending all this time in like a Russian prison with Hopper,
but I feel like they spent too much time, though.
I do too.
You still think it was too much?
I think it was.
I'd have to agree with you.
Because if you think about it, like, I mean, the friend, he was cool, but did he really have much character development? Not much.
They tried.
What was the point?
They tried.
I mean, just to give us, like, some humanity with Hopper, I don't know.
Yeah, I get your point.
I think it was a little bit, like, they kind of took us away from the initial plot line, and maybe that was their goal, I don't know, but it just wasn't...
They were trying to show...
That was probably my least favorite piece
They're showing us 2 separate stories. You've got Hopper's story in season 4.
No, there was like 3 parts. There was a 3 series.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot going on. But they're, Hopper's in a completely different part of the world, stuck in this prison, and we get to see Hopper basically feel like he's at the end of his life, and this is it, and he's just
that was the weird
going
part.
Out swinging, and he kind of just fully gave up.
I actually was more drawn into like the new high school kids in this one, like the blonde kid, who was like crazy good speaker, and
Yeah, the piece of crap. The piece of crap blonde kid.
Yeah,
like the varsity jacket guy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every come on, every 80s movie had that guy.
No, of course.
Well, that's the point. I think that's the point
that
too.
was perfect that they had that.
No, but I just want to make sure we're talking about
and
the same person.
The cheerleader actually ended up being the one that got
the head
taken in
cheerleader.
the beginning. So I thought again that part was very well.
So she knew. I thought she was in the last season. I haven't watched the last season, so they're all new.
Those were all new, and I thought they were all actually really good.
They're all new introductions to the series. Yeah.
I liked that.
I didn't know if they had a scene or two.
That plot.
Yeah.
But what I like about
and then they had Max. I mean, they really crammed a lot.
There's a lot of people now. Well, and then there's also Jess, the ice cream shop girl that's best friends with Steve.
Yeah.
The former.
She's also a little bit weaker for me too.
Yeah, they've added.
Funny,
they keep adding. That's what they're adding to the cast. They're trying to diversify. They're trying to.
You know that now that you mentioned Jess, you said her name is Jess.
I think it's Jess. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you talk about the girl that worked at the ice cream shop. Now she works at a video store.
Yeah.
But yeah, she actually might have been one of the most annoying characters this season to me.
Yeah.
Kind of just there.
Yeah, she was just like almost too much. She was supposed to be that comic relief, and I think that's one of the weaker elements of this season. I mean, we're just nitpicking. I mean, none of this is like crazy major, but it's just nitpicking, But yeah, she just annoyed the shit.
I've gone back. I've watched season 1. I still have the same feelings. It's still the same to me, which is immediately the theme. When I saw that and heard that, it stuck with me in time. That can't be replaced. The first season's the first season.
Right.
It's Halloween for me. You can do Halloween 3 times over. Halloween is still. John Carpenter's Halloween is still going to be the best Halloween. Yeah, the score, the whole thing. Yeah. So Stranger Things, I'll never be able to beat 1 because of the nostalgia and the perfection, and it's just great. Number 4 is definitely second for me because it goes from being a Spielberg child movie to a pretty decent borderline rated R movie, straight out of Elm Street. With the dream sequences and everything, like I said, the colors, the imagery, the quick little pokes at Nightmare, and getting Robert Englund in there for vocals, and then I'd put 3 because 3 is a phenomenal 80s 4th of July Americana pop movie, and 2 last because it just picks up back from when Will Byers is back, and we're just getting it. I feel like it's the character development season. Like, hey, here's everybody's lives.
Right, more kind of the story season.
Here's the loves. Yeah. Here's where we left off in season 1, and now we're gonna show you everybody like their progression in their personal lives. I can't even remember the end of 2. Like, what was so important?
I don't remember. What's the one that had the Hobbit in it?
I think it was a giant mind flare over the arcade or something, and they had to. Will had to do. I don't honestly. I forget.
I don't remember. I just remember the one where the Hobbit dies, Sean Astin or whatever.
One where the Hobbit
was it like
dies.
Part 2? Is that 2 or 3?
I think that was 2.
Okay, so he dies at the end of that one, maybe.
Shit, maybe it is 3.
Yeah, see, I just can't remember, to be honest.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering.
No, you know what? I think he dies in 2. In 3, we're like remembering him and feeling sad about him.
Who does?
The Hobbit. Sean Astin.
He's calling him the Hobbit.
I don't know his name in the show.
Sean Astin. So Sean Astin. Remember he played Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
Bob. That's
I love Bob.
But anyway, whatever season Bob dies, they end up back in like the little factory or whatever, where 11 comes
whatever
from.
Season the Hobbit dies in. I was like, fuck, we're going to Lord of the Rings now? I can't do this. This is too much, man.
Goddamn Samwise Gamgee, you fucks. No, but my I wanted to talk about one nitpick and then we can move on or whatever. I don't give a shit. But my one thing is when they did the CGI with all the bats flying.
Yeah.
Going towards that house.
Yeah.
In the Upside Down. I felt like I was watching like Hotel Transylvania.
Oh no! I
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought it kind of looked kind of whack. To be honest, it was like cartoony.
Well,
like that, and I think that was like my beef with like a couple of the parts, like when
the transformation could have been better. From
Vecna,
it just from number 1 to
too
Vecna.
Cartoony to me, and I think a lot of it just
was a little too
almost too crisp.
It was too cartoony, and then they cut to Vecna, and he's this badass looking skeleton, flesh eaten underworld lord, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why couldn't you just do a live stop motion?
Stop
stop motion transformation of him, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a little like I think when like the lightning bolts were hitting him and tearing his flesh off, I'm like, that was good.
Yeah, I felt some of it was good, sure.
But
that was my one little nitpick. I thought some of the CGI just looked too cartoony. And I think that's a problem with like CGI in general. So maybe it's just we talk shit about CGI constantly on this fucking podcast. So, but overall, again, fucking awesome.
I'm
interested.
CGI I didn't think was bad.
No, I think it was good.
Could have been better.
There was a couple moments.
Like 80% of the time, I thought it was fine.
Could have been better.
But there was like 20% of the time, I'm like, all right, kind of looks kind of wacky.
It wasn't consistent. It wasn't consistent. You know how you expect to see like the same level of consistency of CGI in a movie? It wasn't consistent, so I agree with you there.
Yeah. That's my only one. Like, it's a small nitpick. It didn't take away from the show for me. It's just at times I just cringed. I was like, ugh. You know, but that was it. But then once they started talking again and doing normal scenes, I was cool with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, great. Even though some of the run times are fucking ridiculously long in this season, it flew by.
Oh, it took me 4 times to finish the last.
Well, the last episode, I agree. It was 3 for me.
They were long, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm glad we got them that long.
Yeah, they were able to pack a lot in. I think they used their time wisely.
All right. Well, I think I understand why you did 4.
It was awesome.
It's a struggle because I like this so much separately. I technically could have 1 and 4 tied for first.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about
I could never say that it's better than 1, but I could certainly say it holds up to it separately.
The ending was the best because it really ties it all together, and that's why I think I like it the best.
Well, I feel like we'd have to explain the whole sanitary. We'd have to explain the entire. I don't know what else to call it. Sanitarium or science
It gives the full
lab.
why, though. That's what we needed. We didn't even know from the beginning how 11 even was created.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it gives you the full why.
Yes, you're right.
Which is, that's awesome. And it gives you a couple great subplots.
We get the full backstory of 11.
That was awesome.
No, that was the best part.
And she created the Upside Down. Come on now. Like, boom. Mic drop 1, 2.
And she's the only one that can stop it. So she needed to understand why, and we get to see that through her eyes. So it's great that she gets to see why she's so important and why she had to go back to Papa.
Yeah, her character
Sorry,
development.
I spoiled it. Papa?
No, her
Papa's
character
back.
development.
That's right, guys.
In this one
He's not
too.
dead.
Oh yeah, Papa's not dead.
Everybody thought he was dead from season 1, and
Matthew Modine.
boom!
But she's such a sad character.
Papa's
like,
back.
She's so powerful, and then they showed us how much she was getting bullied and all that this season. Like.
That was the best when she cracked that bitch fucking over the head with the fucking
roller skate.
That was brutal.
Boom.
Yeah,
That was brutal. That was brutal.
Awesome.
But a quick
splitter.
Quick question about I wanna, since we're fucking on this, we're talking a little bit about character development and characters in general. What the fuck happened to those season 2 characters that she went and found? You remember it was like those ones that had the superpowers as well, and they fucking had the bridge scene where the cops were chasing them and she faked like the fucking rocks fell. You know what I'm talking about?
Wow. Yeah, no, I forget.
It's like she's a black girl.
Yeah.
Right? She has superpowers. 11 runs away. She goes and finds them somehow.
Oh my god, no, I forgot.
Because she's trying to rediscover her past, try to find her mother. So she finds these people, and this one girl has the powers.
I vaguely remember this.
Huh. Yeah, so that's why I'm asking, like, what the fuck's up with them people? What happened to them?
I don't know.
What happened to her? You don't even know what I'm talking
Maybe
about?
she was in the rainbow room.
No.
She was probably in the rainbow room.
But they would have identified her.
Actually, no, she would have been dead if she was in the rainbow room.
That's true, actually.
Oh,
you're right. You know what? Maybe, Marco, they're going to tie that into the next one.
I hope so, because that's one of those things that just never got finished up. And Kevin doesn't even remember it. That's how...
I didn't remember that. No.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I told you, season 2 wasn't memorable. So, aside from okay, we got Will back, we're figuring everybody's personal stories out, that's great. I don't even remember the point of everybody having to fight again. Yeah, I know what I loved about that season was the arcades, though. I love that it was more geared towards the kids and the arcades and the music and all of that. And I'm pretty sure 2 was the Ghostbusters reference.
It was, yeah,
and,
for sure. I remember that part.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And I think Max was dressed as Michael Myers, or somebody was dressed as Michael Myers. Yeah. It was cool. So I mean, I loved the whole slasher throwout and yada yada. So they made their efforts for Easter eggs, but that's it. I can't remember the final fight. I can't remember.
No, 2's for sure the least memorable.
It's just weakest. Yeah. Still great.
Unit shows, because we all ranked it the last, so.
Yeah, but it still holds up. Like, it's still good. I would watch it again. I will watch it again.
Anyway, we all give a big thumbs up to the new Stranger Things.
Absolutely.
Yep. Those Duffer Brothers are fucking... They're on another level, in my opinion. Doing great things. Love the music. I personally love this season. Stranger Things is the reason why I started listening to synth, like 80s synthwave. I mean, they got me hooked on it. I'm pretty sure a lot of the new synthwave bands that have been making it big are because of Stranger Things. So it's possible.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I think. Marco, why don't we segue into your shenanigans of DeathFest?
Yeah, man. It was insane times. I went with a fucking posse of 6. And, I'm sure they don't care. I'm going to say their names. Ken, Sheila, Tyrus, Doug, and Liz. Went to Baltimore. Fucking went to a 4-day metal fest. Doug and Liz got there a little late. They were in New York. They went to see Carcass in New York, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow. So they jumped from show to festival.
They went to like a show in Boston one night. The next night, Carcass in New York. And the third night, they were at the fest.
Wow.
Yeah, so they worked it out good. But, no, overall, it was a really good time. We, ended up reconnecting some friends, which was cool. They had a falling out.
Yep.
There was a broken foot involved. I don't want to get into it because I could talk about it for like 20 minutes.
Well, what about the bands? Like who?
Yeah.
So who did you? Who were the big bands that were on the bill that everybody would know out here that we?
Well, Sepultura, pretty much. It was Cavalier Conspiracy doing Sepultura's "Beneath the Remains on a Rise." That was my biggest thing. I missed a few of the bigger bands. I mean, but yeah, dude, that was like nostalgia filled. That was like literally brought me back to when I was 11 and discovering the music.
Do you remember any of the band names? I know you missed a lot of the big bands, but any of the...
Oh yeah, I could tell you all my highlights. Like I thought Deicide was one of the best bands on the face of the planet. They killed it. Their set list was perfect.
Oh, and you said Teats he was playing, right?
Teats played, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, from The Absence and
he's got
Gore Gang.
I love his stage presence, and I love the faces.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't so close enough to the stage where I could see his face perfectly.
Oh, yeah, he does the perfect.
But the sound was so good. We were kind of like in the back, to be honest. But I've seen Deicide so many times. But just the set list, I was singing along. I was headbanging the whole time. And me and Brian, who knows Teats, Brian Zakala. I know Teats, you probably don't listen, but if you do, Zakala. But me and him were just fucking going nuts, because Deicide was the best. But I don't know, man. It was good. The sound stage I love. It's more like my style, like the grind stage. Band Birdflesh was in my top 5. I know you don't know them, but
interesting. Yeah.
But they were fucking amazing. They were just so fun, and it was the end of the fest. That was my last band I saw, and it was good, man. The only thing with Baltimore, it's a shithole. There's roaches that just rock around fucking all over the place. I did get to see some nice parts of Baltimore this time. We went to a brewery that was out of like an old, like huge church. The church was like probably over 100 years old, or probably more than that. The couple like 150 years old. And so you walk in and you can see where the organ is, and then you see all the fucking the vats or whatever they call it for the beer.
Yeah.
And then they had like all types of beer, so I got a flight.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I don't know, man. There's really not much more to say. It was a great fest. I mean, and rest in peace. There's a guy, not to get all serious on the podcast, but I forget his name. I didn't look it up. I think it was Evan or something like that. But guy ended up killing himself at the festival in front of a bunch of friends. And I just want to say, if anybody feels that way, email the show, reach out. I'll talk to you, or I'll listen. Please don't do shit like that.
Yeah.
Because it really traumatized a lot of my friends too, and I really felt for them.
It's unfortunate. Last month was Mental Health Awareness Month, so I mean, yeah, it's a good message, Marco.
Yeah, man.
Reach out to anybody if you have suicidal thoughts. Call a friend, call someone. Marco's offering.
Dude, I'll listen. I'll fucking listen. I don't care.
Yeah,
I got time.
Let you sleep on his couch.
Yes, he'll let you sleep on his couch.
I probably will, actually. Yeah, I probably will.
But
I let a lot of people sleep on my couch. But overall, it was an awesome time, man.
Yeah.
Awesome time. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. The bands are great. Times are great. A lot of debauchery. Broken feet.
Yeah.
Fucking all types of stuff going on.
Broken feet, Jesus.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you already just said this, but possibly the last show.
Yeah, so MDF is for the moment done. But they're not ruling out coming back in a few years, but they're definitely not coming back next year.
Wow.
So they might be done. Well, what it is
I wonder how they do financially. I mean,
No, I think they do good. You know what I think it is? I think the pandemic kind of killed them.
Yeah.
And I think the Astroworld tragedy. The Travis Scott thing where like 9 people died.
Yeah, that was insane.
I believe that insurance, because of that, has gone up so much that it's just kind of become unaffordable for this type of fest.
That's awful.
Yeah, so fucking Travis Scott's irresponsible festival might have led to this.
Yeah, it sucks though now. Everybody's ruined by it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many injuries there are at MDF, but...
not many, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure I'm not everywhere, but I don't...
People are in the pit all day, and I get it. People
I didn't see one.
Things, but...
And I go to shows where there's 3 bands that I've seen, like, 6 injuries. But I did not see one single injury at this show. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they happen. I mean, I'm not at every set, but, yeah. But, I mean, overall, I think MDF is pretty friendly. I mean, somebody got their pussy eaten during the band.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting.
It
was pretty hot out that day. I couldn't imagine that.
Did you witness the incident yourself?
This was actually like out in the open?
Yeah, right in the middle of the mosh pit.
Oh, babe.
Yeah.
Right in the circle pit.
Yeah. I sent up a picture.
Everybody kind of just stepped back. Yeah, she just sat on his face.
Yeah, you can actually watch the video. It's on Twitter.
I was like,
what in the actual fuck is wrong with people?
The video's on Twitter. Oh man, that girl. Well, luckily it's only from the back.
I hope her parents didn't see that.
I
don't think anybody could tell who it is.
Yeah, no, I don't think you ever see her face. Like the video's from her backside, so you see her like. You can't really see anything except her butt. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing you can really see is her ass.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But anyway, could have been anybody.
I couldn't imagine. It was pretty warm out that day. I couldn't imagine that being a good thing.
Oh my god!
All day in those fishnet spandex she was wearing.
Oh my god! I couldn't imagine. Yeah. Couldn't imagine that fucking being tasty.
Oh my god, boys, come on!
I know. I'm sorry, but it's just I'm just putting like real life situation into it.
Oh my god!
But anyway, I give it a 4 thumbs up.
4 thumbs up.
It was good, man. I had a good time.
That's funny.
I had a good time. I just literally recovered from it maybe yesterday, so. And it ended on Sunday night.
I just saw a mountain that looked like a Yeti.
And Kevin is very high.
Yes, he is. Anyway, why don't we wrap this up? Even if it's short, who gives a fuck? We put something out there.
On that note,
yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, kiddies, to the Vintage Burn Podcast.
This is the high edition, because me and Kevin are all edibled out, but...
I'm your hostess with the mostess. This is Kev.
Margot, special guest.
Take my
Sharon!